I think one of the issues that they raise, and obviously the points you made are very, very perfect points, but they are perfect in the sense when you think of, how will I put it now? The points you make can only exist in a society that is perfect. And that's where I disagree with you very respectfully. I disagree respectfully in this. Sorry? Yeah, because I disagree respectfully in the sense. So, yeah, it can only exist in a. I mean, obviously, you know what they call a utilitarian system of government. So everything is perfect, everything is nice, everything is good. And obviously, it cannot happen in Nigeria. Neither can it happen anywhere in the world, to be honest with you. And why do I say so, right? You can never have consensus in government, which is what your approach advocates. Your approach advocates for consensus. So when you talked of for example, I think you made mention of obese votes. If obese people that voted for Obi, they will now go vote for. That was the way you put it. The numbers. No, that's a different. No, that's different. I'm not talking of that. No, but no, but that's not. But no, but that's not the. No, but that's not. No, no, we're making different points. They were making different points. I disagree with you. I even disagree with these points you're making now anyway. But the other points you're making, which you made, I think I had it correctly, was so that people's votes will count, so that people's votes will not be wasted. That was the word you used, right? Yeah, yeah, and that's my point. My point is that can only exist in a perfect society. My point being that you can never have consensus in governments. You're always gonna have people that disagree with you. They're not gonna vote for you. That disagree with your mode of government, your mode of leadership for one reason or the other, based on tribe, whether based on religion or any affinities. There will always be people that will not agree with you. That's one thing I noted. And then you now talked of the issue of that's why people go in there and they only cater for those that voted for them. So, for example, the Yoruba man goes in, becomes president, and only says, because the Yoruba people voted for me, I'm gonna do well just for them. That's not a criticism of the institution or of the society. Where that issue comes from is from the leader. For example, if I get elected, I shouldn't care whether A, B, or C voted for me. That doesn't matter. I'm a leader for everybody now. I'm the governor or I'm the president of Nigeria or the whole of Nigeria, not for some parts of Nigeria. So, but the issue in Nigeria is that whoever we've gotten elected have been people that have been tribalistic, people that have been so much focused on religion and other issues. That's why when they go in there, they are focused on, oh, because the Catholics voted for me, I'm going to do well for the Catholics or for the Anglicans or for the Pentecostals, whatsoever it may be. So that's not an issue of the system. The system already, like Jose said, is perfect. The system is a good system. The issue is that when people go in there, they won't go in and they are like, okay, the Catholics are more in population. I'm gonna do well for the Catholics. I'm gonna look down on the Anglicans, and because of that, the Anglicans get agitated. Or you can say the same for the Hausas or for the Yorubas. So, like I said, one, you're never gonna have consensus in governments. Number two, what you need is a leader that is for everybody, not just for some people. Going to another point you made about money in politics. Till thy kingdom comes, you're always going to have money in politics. In America, because I follow American politics a lot, and UK politics. The last election, the last two elections, 2016, Clinton spent 1 point something billion dollars, not million, 1 point something billion dollars. That was what Clinton spent, and she still lost the election. Trump spent 200 and something million dollars and won the election. Last year, that Trump spent $1 billion and still lost the election. You're always, and this is the USA. This is the world's democracy. This is the epitome of democracy all over the world. You're always gonna have money. That's why people look at Nigeria, for example. That's why people go in and they want to amass all the wealth possible, because they know once I have money, I have power, I have control. I can make things happen, I can rig elections, I can get things done, I can do the undoable, and no one will care. That's why people like Ato Eze, We all know who they are in Igbo land or in Yoruba land. We all Atinibu them, or in Hausa land. We all know the IBBs. That's why IBB was able to take how many $billion, and no one talked, because he knows with that money, he's gonna be relevant forever. So wherever it is, and that's why in politics, when you look at people that are sponsoring, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in UK here, for example, you have people who are sponsoring the Tories or the Labour Party, because you're always gonna need money in politics. You're always gonna need money in elections. So people need to, for example, travel from A to B. That money has to be spent by someone. So the more money you have, and that's just the way the system is, you know, that's why some societies say, okay, let's try to put election laws in place that will limit the amount of money you can spend. For example, in America, that's the same. But what the Americans have been able to do, they've been able to bypass that law, and what they've created what they call PACs, so political action committees. They can use their PACs to spend as much as they can. However, on their own they can't, but through their PACs associated with them, they can spend ridiculous amounts of money. So like I said, you're always going to have money in politics. That's why for me it's important for you to have money, because when you have money, you can control and make things happen. The under points I disagree. I don't need to say things I agree with, because I agree with some things everyone said, but another thing I disagree with what Joe said was about the North not wanting the development of, I don't know how he put it, but basically development. And I will say this in the sense that, for example, I'm from an Anambra state, right? My job, and this goes back to what I've always said about politics. Every politics is local. Let us look first of all at what can we do in our state first of all. Forget about the North, forget about the South. Look at your own region. Why is the Eastern region, for example, backward when it comes to education? Why are the Southerners, Yorubas, very good when it comes to education? Why is, for example, the University of Ife, the University of Lagos, why are they very, very good when it comes to education? And then why do you have places like Unizik and IMSU and the rest? Why are they not that good? These things are policies and strategies that their governors put in place to ensure that when it comes to these sectors, they will always be number one. And these are issues of local politics. So if, for example, our governors in the Southeast say to ourselves, you know what, when it comes to development, when it comes to education, when it comes to infrastructure, we're going to be number one. We're not going to care what the North says or what the South says. We're not going to care about them. Let's first of all look at how do we develop our own states, our own place of living, the place that we have the most affinity to. That's for me, looking at the North, and I always say this, as I always look at the micro level. I don't really look at the macro level, because I believe, yes, the macro level will always have an influence on when you want to discuss the micro level. But for me, you get the micro level correct, which is what, if you look at other developed countries, for example, you look at the UK, for example, the UK is not only about London. The UK has Manchester, it has Birmingham, it has Nottingham. It has all these micro places that make the macro wow, that make the UK, you go wow. Because when you look at Birmingham, when you look at the North, the South, everything is working well. The police is working in the East, are working in the North. There are no discrepancies. So you're like, wow. Same thing in America. You look to Washington, D.C., you look to New York, you look to Florida. Everything is going well. So you can get that in Nigeria, where you look at all the component parts of Nigeria and you're like, okay, all the component parts of Nigeria are good. Then that means Nigeria becomes good then. But if we keep on focusing on the federal, yeah, it might for some people be good, but for me, I'm always gonna look at what is the closest affinity to government I have. That's my state. Okay, how can I make my state better? That means come November, I need to get my PVC, and then I need to go and vote. Everyone should do that in their own communities and vote people in that they think that when they go in there, they won't be because, oh, A did not vote for me, I'm not gonna care for A. Consensus, whatever. No. The idea of government is always, if I can get at least 77% of people to believe in me and to like me, then you're all right. You can never get 100% of people to like you or to believe in your policies. That's not possible. We're always going to have differences, and we're always going to have people that are going to believe, oh, because he's not from the East, I don't like him anyway. So yeah, I think that's what I have to say on these issues.